Molweni kuni nonke. Igama lami uthando lwethu, abanye benu bandazi ngoCoffee Mac, utata wesizwe, and welcome to yet another installment of the lyric breakdown. Yeah, I almost made a mistake, but yeah, you know me with the comebacks. But yeah, elinye igama lami besides uCoffee Mac, ndingumabiza Sabele, yabo, thuma mina, because yeah man, one of you guys requested that I do a lyric breakdown of Touchline's I'll Always Have Me. And of course, I had to answer, actually. Yeah, bro. Yeah. So today we'll be doing a lyrical breakdown of Touchline's I'll Always Have Me, which was dropped from his album Soon 2, Something Out of Nothing, that came out on the 4th of February 2022. And I believe it was also the lead single. It came out with the music video, but he dropped it on his Instagram. I'm not sure if it also came out on YouTube because I don't see it anymore on these platforms. Yeah, but yeah, he did drop it with the music video. So he named the album Soon 2, as he had explained on Chopping It with Buddha T. Something out of nothing, but he was also playing on the word soon. Yeah, but he also did say that before like blowing up and becoming the Touchline that we know him to be today, he was still rapping hard, but he wasn't known yet. He had dropped a project called Soon, where he was rapping on other people's beats. Yeah, so he did feel like it was a full circle moment, which is why he had to name this project Soon 2, a better year.
People can't speak on their craft on this level because they don't take this much thought to even make it.
I never thought
so
about
that's
yeah.
fire that you're equipped with that.
Shout out.
Soon 2. You called that what? Soon 2 what? I've seen you explain that, but I forgot. I saw it in another interview.
Yeah. So
soon 2, a better year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So soon obviously is something out of nothing. That's
what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. But it also plays on Uguti. The time is coming. Soon. Right.
And you were feeling that way, of course, at the time.
Which is why I called it a better year. Right. Because I felt like I'm gonna manifest Uguti. This is gonna be my best year musically, or even in my life, and it was. Right.
Fire.
Yeah, it was. And the reason it's the second soon is because I dropped a soon like a few years ago. Just soon. Something out of nothing. It was just me rapping on people's beats.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like a full circle moment for you.
Yeah, which is why it was important to call this one Soon.
Yeah.
Soon as well.
That's fire.
Yeah.
You felt
my first ever project was Soon. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means you felt like you had now,
after dropping I Always Have Me, right? I was like
that song also. Yeah.
I was like, now you're the guy that you wanted to be, right? The guy that you said, the guy that you were talking about in Soon, you are that guy now. So own it. You feel me?
Fire. Is this your best project?
Definitely.
Safe to say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Most streamed.
But anyways, getting into the song I'll Always Have Me. Yeah, so let's start with the lyrics. I think the song name is quite self-explanatory. It tells us about he'll always have him. So I think we know what to expect, and it's also quite popular. Yeah, it's quite popular with the folks. So yeah, let's get into that.
Round 1, fight!
Vugek sent me with a young prayer, then I'm on my way up. Not about to that pull me down, but those that hold me down make sure I stay up. He made heaven, but on day 7 he created my day once. Your girl asking me how my day was, but my days are good, girl. I don't do hard labor. I don't do 9 to 5. I don't get paid a month later, but I respect everybody that goes and gets paper. You try to ride my wave, but now you need a lifesaver. Every hood nigga's dream is to have white neighbors. We'd have nothing.
So verse 1, he says, "Ngivuke ekuseni with a young prayer, then I'm on my way up. Kunabantu that hold me down, or kunabantu that pull me down, but those that hold me down make sure I stay up." Right? Okay. So now let's break it down. Yabo, ngivuke ekuseni with a young prayer. Of course, it's the first thing you need to do. Order of the day, right? Then he's on his way up. I think this thing of saying then I'm on my way up can be interpreted in like 2 ways. You understand? Because what happens? You get up off of your feet, right? You're on your way up. But also it can be said that he was probably saying that after praying, he's on his way up, like he's on his way up career-wise. Yabangena, or yabo, he's on his way up, or he's about to tackle the day that's ahead of him, right? Then he goes on to say, kunabantu that pull me down, yabo, but those that hold me down make sure I stay up. Dog. Like, also, okay, right? Like, also, I like how he plays on the pull and hold for you to like understand the context. About pull me down, you're pulling me down, you don't want me to go up. He was on his way up, but now people are pulling him down. You understand? Like, and then there are those that actually hold him down for real, like his friends. But also we see a figure of speech here, which is an oxymoron, right? Because how can someone hold you down when, oh, but those that hold me down make sure I stay up? Yeah, well, so yeah, I took it there a bit because I wanted to show the, I don't know, man, the smartness of rappers, right? Those that hold me down make sure I stay up. Those are the things that kind of like make a bar, yeah, but hold me down, stay up. So yeah, we actually get to see that, okay, we also have an oxymoron here. Then I also spoke on how he used pull and hold, yeah, but pull and hold me down, pull me down, synonymous but in two different contexts. I wouldn't necessarily say they are homophones. Yeah, so it's an oxymoron or a paradox. No, it is, I think it's an oxymoron. Yeah, between the two, probably an oxymoron or a paradox, right? Yeah, and then also when doing this lyric breakdown, I kind of tried to check the rhyme scheme, yeah, but if it was an A, B, B, C, or, you know, like, yeah, when we treat it as though it's a poem, yeah, but if we treat this song as though it's a poem, then I tried to check the rhyme scheme. But what I found was, I feel like this song was probably a free verse, yeah, but I feel like it was a free verse because even the way Genius wrote it down, it's like it doesn't have a lot of commas, it doesn't have, you know, like strict regulations as to, but okay, maybe each line is gonna have 4 words or 5 words, like syllables, yeah, but I'm not really familiar with syllables, or I'm not well experienced when it comes to that part. But yeah, I feel like it's a free verse because some lines are long, some lines are short, yeah, but I think the first quartet, no, not quartet, but yeah, the first 4 lines, first bar, I think the rhyme scheme is A, B, B, C, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, A, B, B, C. Yeah, but so yeah, I tried to treat it like that, but I think it's free verse, and also since it's a ballad, there are gonna be a lot of changes in rhyme schemes, and yeah, but the way he plays with words and which words he rhymes with the next, which one doesn't he rhyme. And ballads in poetry are said to be very long. Well, one ballad I think I can think of right now, if I'm not mistaken, is William Blake's ballad, where he was, I think, talking about nature or mountains. But yeah, so since Vele, this is a rap song, a ballad, then there are gonna be a lot of changes in the rhyme scheme and all those things. Yeah, well, then we had we continue where he says, he made heaven, but on day 7 he created my day ones. Biblical references now, yeah, but biblical references. And he did show us that he's starting off with the prayer motif. He was opening with the prayer motif, which, okay, God is coming in, yeah, but start my day off with the prayer and then I'm on my way up. So now he is saying that he made heaven, but on day 7 he created my day ones. And we actually know that in Genesis 2, yeah, it's Genesis 2 verse 3. So on the 7th day, the Lord rested after he had created the planet Earth. So it does say about on the 7th day, he had rested. So the way we can see it is, since he was resting and there was nothing else on his plate, he decided to make Touchline abangan bakhe that he really, really trusts. You understand? He took his time with them and he made sure that they align with whichever missions Touchline probably has or anything. You know, man, you know what a day 1 is, right? Also playing on that 7, no one, yeah, but the beginning and the end type shandies. Like, yeah, but so yeah, so we also have we see the beginning of a prayer motif, but also Touchline telling us how he's telling us, maybe like giving us a glimpse into his life how he starts his day and some of the things he experiences within friendships. Yabo. He has good friends, he has people that pretend to be his friends but are pulling him down. You understand? Okay, then we go to the next line where he says oh, and also the seventh day is meaning Sabbath, right? The Lord did say that that day is going to be spent resting, no one's going to be working then. No. You understand? So we can also say that since he created Touchline's friends on day 7, these people are really special to him. Yeah, because it's a blessed day. So he was blessed to have these people in his life. Okay. And then we carry on. Oh, and then with the next stanza, or next paragraph rather, he says, your girl asking me how my day was, but my day's a good, girl. I don't do hard labor. Yeah, bro. I don't get paid a month later, but I respect everybody that goes and gets paper. Yeah, bro. So if you're someone who listens to Touchline's music, you know that Touchline is not necessarily someone who is braggadocious, right? Or his music doesn't give off that energy of yo, like you're a poor nigga and what. Touchline's music is mostly motivating, and it always speaks on the things that happen in Ekasi and, you know, things that affect everyday human beings. Yeah, but the things we struggle with as people. He even said it on Chopping It with Buddha T, that he speaks to the human in all of us, right?
My nigga.
So yeah, but I feel like here it was just a thing of him just celebrating the fact that also the album is named Soon Too, yeah, but something out of nothing. So I just feel like he's celebrating now the fact that he actually gets to do what he loves and not feel like he's necessarily working, yeah, but so it's an energy of yo, like nyabonga, but also at the same time it's like I don't have to do a 9 to 5, but he's also respecting people that put bread on their tables through that 9 to 5. Yeah, so it's not necessarily a thing of dogging the 9 to 5 industry, but it's just saying about I get to do what I want and on my own terms. You understand? Not everyone also is as blessed. Some have to do that 9 to 5 to put food on the table. Yeah, but some by time the 9 to 5, some don't love a 9 to 5, but me, I'm blessed enough to do what I love and on my own terms and make money out of it and feed my family off of that. You understand? So yeah. Oh, and then he says, you tried to ride my wave, now you need a lifesaver. So it's actually playing on, so here he's playing on the theme of being in the ocean. You try to ride my wave, you know, the new wave, Touchline's wave, basically like when Touchline was coming up, and then a lot of people probably tried to emulate what he was doing, but now they need a lifesaver because they're drowning and they cannot keep up. You understand? And that's what happens a lot of times when you do something that's not authentic to you. Yeah, but when you ride a wave, you always trying to catch up, and when you riding that wave, that person's probably on the next wave. And then like one friend of mine said to me, you understand, you know why, and the list of club. So if you're riding a wave, be careful because of compare. So yeah, that's what he was saying. Yeah, now you're drowning and you need a lifesaver. And at the same time, the same people that were trying to pull him down are the ones who are trying to ride his wave. Oh, and then he does say every hood nigga's dream is to have white neighbors, right? So of course, if you're living in a suburban area, or it's predominantly it's dominated by white people, right? And we know about, okay, if we're living in areas that have white people in them, that's also a sign of change in the status quo, right? It shows, okay, so pumelele. And of course, like, that's why we even say sometimes, like when technology, anyways, when we like use advanced things or things, we say izinto zabelungu. So yeah, that also symbolizes a change, and I think that was very slick. Every hood nigga's dream is to have white neighbors. Once uhlale nabelungu, you know it's okay. I'm up there now. Imali shintshile, you know, things are good. Although there are black people there, but you know it's okay. Because we also know that the hood is mostly dominated by black folk. Right? It's mostly dominated by black folk. It's very rare for you to find a white person staying in the hood. And if they do, that is like a culture shock or something that is not normal. You understand? Yeah. Oh, and then he continues to say,
White neighbors, we'd have nothing if we relied on what life gave us. It was a good day when God made us, says famous. Into Yazio is to Z on me, sleep on me. She sends you a text, but she sees me secretly. Then she sees me secretly. She needs the D&D deeply and eagerly. We repeat it weekly. I get what we want, I gotta distribute it evenly. Understand that actions are the only thing that we believe. Stripper girls are the ones we love. Money we spent at summer, there's a lot when we summit.
We'd have nothing if we relied on what life gave us. We'd have nothing if we relied on what life gave us. And boy, he's making the most out of what he has. A lot of people, when they motivate people, they tend to say, use what you have and make the most out of that, right? And with the little that you have, you can turn it into something big.
Lemons to lemonade.
But if you let yourself be confined to your situation and the things that, like, maybe if you are born into a certain life and you know this is not the life you want for yourself and you just relied on that life, then you're probably going to live in that hole for a long time. But until you decide to get out of that pit, then you're going to make it out, right? Yeah. Okay, and then he continues to say, it was a good day when God made us, says famous. My dog. Now sisesikolweni.
Bafana. Balana my notes, senza my correction, man.
It was a good day when God made us, says famous. So right here, I spotted Indon alliteration. So we have another, is it a figure of speech? I think it's a figure of speech. Because we have the us, says famous. Mafethu. Okay. Touchline. Okay. We have alliteration now, right? Then he says, into oyazio is to z on me, sleep on me. She sends you a text, but she sees me secretly. Then she sees me secretly. Oh! Okay, let's break it down, yabo. Into yazio is to z on me. So instead of him using the word into yazio is to sleep on me, he imitates the sound your corner z, which also even in cartoons, when a cartoon character is sleeping, we use the word z. We use the letters z to show that they're sleeping, right? But also, this is also another figure of speech. This is known as onomatopoeia, right? Onomatopoeia is the act of imitating the literal sound, which is what Touchline actually did here, right? So it gets crazier, right? Then he says, Ntoyazio is to z on me. She sends you a text, but she sees me secretly. CC, emails, right? When you send someone an email, but you also want someone to know that you sent that person an email, CC, you CC them. You understand? But now, Z, CCC. But anyways, so it's like Touchline is saying, you think you're the only one, but she lets me know her every move. So who's the real nigga here? Type shambles. Then she sees me secretly. I get one. Then she sees me secretly. She needs the D and dig. deeply and eagerly. Agekho one. Oh, we repeat it weekly. Agekho one. I got it distributed evenly.
Cut the show. I'm done. Take me off. Take me off.
Perfect. She sees me secretly. Yeah, but then she sees me secretly. I don't know if that's also alliteration, but sees me secretly. Sees me secretly. Ay, my face. Ay. And then he says she needs the D and dig deeply and eagerly. You understand? Now in your alliteration, the letter D and dig and deeply. We repeat it weekly. I get one. I got it distributed evenly. And then also, dog, this is crazy. Because if you were listening, she sees you. Letters. He started with the what? Z. Now he's coming in with what? C, D, E.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
School is in session. CDE. CC's. Dig. Bafethu. Eagerly. Weekly. Bafethu. And then he says, Agekho one, I got it distributed evenly. What is the number one? It's an odd number, my dog. It's an odd number. It's an odd number. He has to distribute it evenly. So we know it's okay. Okay, one. Maybe by 2. If I back 2 by 4. We're skipping odd numbers. I get one. I got it distributed evenly. Understand that actions are the only thing we believe. He's also referencing his song, Actions Over Captions. Actions Over Captions, which is also on the album Soon Too. Guys, you see, it is that deep. It is that deep. Right? Okay, sure. We're on the same boat. He's paying, captions, actions over captions. So he is affirming, Uguti, I don't just speak about this life. I'm living this life. I'm doing it for reals. Yeah, but and also how he says, she sends you a text, then dog. There's something, man, here I'm forgetting. Okay. Oh, then he says, stripper girls are the ones we love. Yeah? Stripper girls are the ones we love. Money we spend at Summit. That's a lot when we sum it up. Aye. Stripper girls are the ones we love. Money we spend at Summit. That's a lot when we sum it up. Math motif, my dog. Math motif. We had started.
Really, nigga?
This is good. We had started with the math motif. You understand? When he said, I got wine, I got it distributed evenly. Now he talks about the stripper girls at Summit. Yeah, but Summit is a strip club. Yes, it's a strip club in Jersey. Well, I think it's also a bar, but apparently it's rated 3-star. Yeah, it's a 3-star place in Jersey. It's a strip club. I believe they also offer other services, but yeah. Anyways, so that's why he's like, money we spend at Summit, that's a lot when we sum it up. Wordplay, dog. Sum it up. Malia says sum it up. But what is a summit? A summit also means a mountain, dog. A summit also means a mountain. The highest point in a mountain. So when you sum the money up, it's a lot. It's a mountain. I'm not making this up, but it ties in really well. It ties in really well when he says the money we spend at Summit, that's a lot when we sum it up. Summit being a strip club, but also when you actually count the money niggas spend at Summit, that is a lot of money. Yeah, but also imali. Yeah, yeah. So yeah. Then he continues to say,
that summit is a lot when we sum it up. Chats with the old lady, Nina Myago 7, she saw it in me already. Heavy, deadly, touchline. You try to minus me and cross me, I become a plus sign. That's how I add pressure and I'm coming for what's mine. Hey, what up, clever? La Malia count digger. Girls in the summertime, you know, crop top sweater, car villa, umbrella. But that's not where the shade comes from. It comes from girls that think that they much better and hate on each other. And the only other women that they love are their mothers.
Chats with EO lady, she saw it in me. Chats with EO lady, Nine Minyaga 07, she saw it in me already. Heavy, deadly, touchline. Yeah, you try to minus me and cross me, I become a plus sign. Math motif. You see, now we're continuing with the math motif, right? We're continuing with the math motif where he says, Nina Mnyaga 07, number, sharp. She saw it in me already, heavy, deadly, touchline. Yeah, then you try to minus me, minus side, math, and cross me. I become a plus sign.
I'm coming down. Drink my water.
Also, the word cross can be seen as a double entendre, right? The word can be seen as a double entendre because, number one, when you cross someone, that is a negative, right? You try to minus me, either take me out of the game or kill me, right? Or you try to cross me, which means betrayal, right? Also, God, Holy Cross. You understand? Holy Cross, but also that's a plus sign in math. Yeah, but we know that a negative times a positive equals a negative. You understand? I think this could also be a cross, right? But also when you cross someone and you betray someone, that's not something that's positive. That is negative. So a negative times a negative becomes a positive.
It makes sense. Then yo guys makes sense.
So that's what we see here, dog. That's what we see here. You try to minus me and cross me, I become a plus sign. Double entendre is just basic. Yeah. So and then he says that's how I add pressure, and I'm coming for what's mine. Yeah, he becomes a plus sign and then he continues to add pressure. Fagumo, yeah. So your negative energy is what gives him strength. Yeah. And then he says, hey, what up, clever? Nemalia count tega. Okay. And then he continues to say, girls in the summertime, you know, crop top, sweater, cavella, umbrella. But I feel like here he's just describing a beautiful hand. I just think Uguti, it's probably, yeah, man, just a typical normal girl, you know, beautiful, clean, but Cavella, I believe it's mostly Kasi girls. Yeah, Cavella, I think it's a symbol of the girl being from Ekasi. Yeah, the girl being from Ekasi. Although now some females are also starting to take up the style, but I believe that it was mostly predominant in the hood. Okay, uthanda Cavella, uhamba yabo unyathela phezulu kwabantwana ngathi unyathela phezulu kwamaqanda uyabo asiphathele umbrella asibophela iphondo lakhe lemnele zakhe ezirelaxiwe into egrand yilo mntana usiyashe ezibekacula ngaye athi silenda ntwana yabo. But yeah, anyways, But anyways, yabo. And then but that's not where the shade comes from. So he's alluding to the fact that the shade does not come from the umbrella. Yes, she's under an umbrella, but she's receiving shade, but not that kind of shade. You understand? It's coming from who? It's coming from girls that think they're much better and hate on each other. And the only other woman they love are their mothers. Damn. Then he says, damn. So it's like, oh, lo fresh, like instead of just appreciating that the girl's beautiful or the girl's nice, like that also touches on things that happen where people just like bayamonelana, girls specifically bayamonelana because of izinto ezincane, because umntana abantu clean and uziphethe fresh, uziphethe soft. So I feel like there he was coming from an outsider's perspective of how he views women, on how they behave like with each other, and the things he has probably seen. You understand? Things that probably happen in the hood with how girls interact with one another, even if it's not in the hood, but just probably all around, which, oh, this is how they tend to interact with one another when he observes them, and some of the stuff he probably heard. You understand? Yeah. And the only other women that they love is their mothers. So they can't come together and actually love each other. But instead, the only thing that they do is hate on each other. Silently hate on each other. Shade bahlebana, banigana. Yeah, understand. So yeah. And then he continues to say,
you earn a salary, baby, we understand. Why compete with a honey that gets her money from a man? No, you study and you work and you polishing the plan, but some nights you gotta dance with origin in your hand. Take your head down, kululege, je utulubege, nengane sifundu shege, zifuni nyugi pele, mom kosa, dad Betty, I don't have Zulu parents, but I need my coins to be bigger than Zulu earrings. Still sacrifice myself to make others happy. Jump for so many people, but no one's there to catch me. Girls.
And I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Girls on IG are never real when they post a reel.
My nigga.
He's playing on the word real. Yeah, boy, really, Instagram and then real. Girls are never real when they post a reel. Yeah, boy. By an actor, basically by an actor, and there's a lot of plasticity in their lives that they portray on Instagram, right? And also, I think this could also tie in really well with the sense that we don't know who's probably funding these lifestyles that these women on these social media platforms are living, right? Like you see her going out there, you see her doing this, you see her doing this, or you see her acting like she's a nice person in front of the camera, but when you have a real life interaction with them, that person is totally different to the person that you saw on Instagram. Right? Yeah. Oh, and when he says that, and I don't know how I'm supposed to feel, girls are never real when they post a reel, I also think he's alluding to the fact that he probably like sees a beautiful girl and he probably, like he wants to find love, but it's like, like all of these pretenses and all of these things, like they also kind of get in the way of him finding, because these girls on the internet are living fake lives type thing, so he doesn't necessarily know how to feel. Does he want to commit? Does he not want to commit? When he sees a beautiful maiden, will she be what she is portraying right now on the internet? Yeah. And then he continues to say, you earn a salary, baby, we understand. Why compete with the honey that gets her money from a man? You see, that's exactly what I was saying. Uguti, some girls are probably gonna see this. I also believe now, after reading that line, when Touchline was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Girls are never real when they post the reel, right? Girls on IG are never real when they post the reel. So I'm also thinking he probably thought about how this, like maybe a young girl out there is probably seeing this and then they want to emulate that, but they don't know what it takes for you to end up living that lifestyle, right? Because you see like a content creator doing this and doing that, like they're just traveling, their content is like up there, it's good, it's lush, you understand, luxuries, they're buying the latest bags, the most expensive garments, you understand. But now you're like, oh, I also want to be like her, you know. But then how you only find out, this is what's required of me, you understand. So that's why that I think that now it makes sense why he was like, and I don't know how I'm supposed to feel girls on IG are never real when they post a reel. Yeah, but because he's also thinking about the impact it probably has on younger girls, yeah, who want to emulate that. Understand? And then continues to say, you earn a salary, baby, we understand. Why compete with the honey who gets her money from a man? So also other women who work a 9 to 5, yeah, but and just like are just living their lives, probably also like wish they could live like those girls that they see on IG or on social media, but they don't have the means, yeah, well, because they're at a job and they probably have other responsibilities as well. Maybe umntana khona uyasebenza and other people are looking at her like endlini, she's feeding the family, or she's still studying, yeah, well, which is what Touchline then says, you earn a salary, baby, we understand. Yeah, well, so it's like you don't have to prove to us that now you can live that lifestyle. We can see that you're making ends meet. Yeah, well, like we understand. Don't let whatever it is that you're seeing on Instagram or on social media put pressure on you or lead to your depression, right? Because is like izimo zabantu as fun, situations are not the same. So don't let that be the one reason why you feel like you should be doing more, you should be stunting more, or you should and let go of certain things and just continue to do that one thing, you know. Yeah, and why would you try to compete with a girl who has a sponsor? Like, this person is living their life out of another man's pocket. So when you're not in the same shoes. So don't try and compare yourself to that. Yeah. But some nights you gotta dance with reality in your hand, or you gotta dance with origin in your hand. Yeah, well, so some nights you have to dance with origin in your hand. Like, just see your situation for what it is and accept it for what it is. Let your head down, ukhululeke. Understand? Nje uthulubheke. Yabo. So dance with the fact that, okay, this is where I'm at. Relax. Like, just let your head down and stop just working. Yabo. Let your head down, ukhululeke, relax, beg the situation for what it is, and just, accept that, okay, this is where I'm at, but this is not where I'm gonna end up. Type shandis. That's what I think this is. Yabo. Then it says, lengane zifuna usheke, zifuna inyuke iphele. So I'm not sure ukuthi zifuna usheke. I believe, I don't know what it means, but all my Tembisa people, please, just help me out with that one. Ukuthi usheke, what is usheke in Abo? Because Touchline is from Tembisa. So yeah, I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna come with it from a closer perspective. Zifuna usheke. So I'm thinking, since Touchline's mom is Xhosa, yabo. Since his mom is Xhosa, I believe this is a Xhosa word, zoba lengane zifuna ushiyeke. So I'm thinking ukuthi these girls want you to be left behind, yabo, and they want your money to be finished. Like, if unemali manje, they'll chow your money and then they'll leave you there, yabo. Imali yakho izawutyiwa then wena uzawushiyeka pha, held up in the past, yabo, and then you won't be able to make the most out of your life. You understand? So yeah, I also feel like here he was probably talking to the girl who goes, okay, if you let these pressures get to you, you're gonna be stuck and you're not gonna go forward. Just push what you're pushing. And it kind of also was saying to the gents, was, yo man, like, don't try live a life that you know is not yours. Don't try be that guy when you know very well good you are not that guy, because the same people you're trying to impress are gonna leave you behind and are gonna finish your money. Focus on you, focus on your goals, just keep it pushing, right? Yeah. And then he says, Mom, closer, Dad, Betty. I don't have Zulu parents, but I need my money bigger than Zulu earrings. Of course, Ikaza, yes. Ikaza Zingag. Like, you know those Zulu earrings. I think Anati was also wearing them on that time, yeah, when ears are dropped. But also, who else was wearing them? But yeah, we know Ikaza, man. Yeah, I believe Ikaza, yes, if I'm not mistaken, Ikaza. Yeah, so that's what he was talking about, and that's what he was nodding to. I believe that is just a smart, just a smart, comparison. I don't know if it's not a metaphor. Is that a metaphor? I think it's a simile. If I'm not mistaken. Used as like, no. I think it's a metaphor. Yeah, I think it's a metaphor. But if it's not a metaphor, you guys are gonna correct me. Alright? So he then continues to say, still sacrifice myself to make others happy. Jump for so many people, but no one's there to catch me.
I've saved a lot of things. I've crawled for you guys. All but whatever. They want to see me down because of I'm the guy. I've made this shit happen. You help people about betray. Everyone around me, all the motherfuckers, all the but about to stay, I'm betray. But I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still strong.
I think that is self-explanatory. Jump for so many people, but no one's there to catch me. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it for you, my dog. But if I fail, if it so happens that maybe I'm failing on my own mission, I hope that you can catch me. Like how I'm catching this book right now. But no one's catching him. But he's always there. When people say, yo, touch, he's jumping. He's already up. It's gone. And boy, doesn't even ask why it happened. But now people, like when it's his turn for them to return the favor, they're not there for him. You understand? So he falls to the ground. And then he then says, girls change, friends change, but I'll always have me, young tall. So I think with this closing line, yeah, girls change, friends change, but I'll always have me, and that's forever, young tall. That was him just closing the first verse. Like it's okay. He explored these things that he's talking about. Girls change, you understand? Friends change, and but he'll always have him, because he also mentioned at the beginning of the first stanza, or rather the first paragraph, first bar, he did say he has those that pull him down and those that hold him down. But although those people are there now, things can happen, and the one person you once considered your closest friend becomes your closest enemy. Because that's how the world works sometimes. You understand? Girls change. Also, I think him saying girls change is also to show guys, like you can trust your girl, right? You can trust your girl or your partner, but on any day they can leave you there in the road, on the desert, dry with no water. So I also think it really ties into why in the first verse he hasn't necessarily shown us okay, Touchline is in a committed relationship or he's doing something serious with the person. Because when he says she sent you a text, then she sees me secretly, then she sees me secretly, I got it distributed evenly. Like, I think that's also a sign to say Lomundo, like, he's not in a committed relationship, but he's doing what he is doing. You understand? And also that could be a fear of Uktini, he commits, and then when he commits, bayamgila. So that's what I'm seeing here when he says girls change, friends change, but I'll always have me. So I think it's a play on that. And also, if there's ever one way in which you could like hurt someone, I'd probably say is to, especially a nigga, dog. Like, if ever you wanna hurt a nigga, like, take his partner, dog. Take his partner from him. Yeah. Some guys doesn't. So I think also that's why like Touchline like saying that. Well, okay, when I take your girl, yeah, but I took your girl, and he doesn't say I'm gonna take her. He says, yeah, I'm tatile type shandis, yeah. And even if you don't mess with my stuff, your girl messes with my stuff. Sometimes I feel like, yeah, okay, like I don't care if you don't mess with my stuff, but if your girl messes with my stuff, then it's so good, Charlie. It's so good. But yeah, also yeah, he's just trying to show niggas by, hey man, don't think it's always rosy. Those roses might be dying. And also friends change, but he'll always have him. And we'll always have him. Nothing's ever gonna change with him because oh yeah, that's who he is. And I also think I'll always have me ties in really well with Say It To Yourself. Yeah, Say It To Yourself, which was also a single. I believe he released it early this year, if not late last year. Yeah, but because I'll always have me is him just saying, it's okay, I got myself. I don't like all of these people are around me, that's fine. But say it to yourself again, like you're affirming words of affirmation, is telling himself but he's the greatest of all time. He has seen other goats, but also if he doesn't tell himself, who's gonna tell him Uguti he's the goat? Yeah, well, then he continues to say, if I saw myself how they see me, that's a tragedy. You understand? Because some people don't see him as being the great that he sees himself to be. And also in the cover art of Say It To Yourself, he's looking at himself in the mirror. Yeah, but his only competition is the man in the mirror.
Days of your lives, Stefano Di Mera.
Yeah, but his only competition is the man in the mirror. Yeah, but and so I think that ties in really well with those two songs. And also on the cover art of I'll Always Have Me, we see Vina. Yeah, I think it's Vina. Yeah, I think it's Vina. Vina, who sings the chorus, I'll Always Have Me, holding Touchline's heart. This ties in really well with the last line where Touchline says, I've jumped for so many people, but no one's there to catch me. Right? It's like he gives people his heart, and inside that leaves a hollow gap. So akasena inhliziyo, basically. Inhliziyo yakhe bayithathile and akasena inhliziyo manje. And obviously umuntu ongasena inhliziyo loses that element of care for other people. Yeah, but that could also show that they ripped him apart. He's a broken man. So now he has learned his lesson. Yeah, so yeah, and that's part one. That is part one. That is verse 1 of I'll Always Have Me by Touchline. I'll be dropping a part 2 real soon. Ciao, peace and love.